Have you ever stopped to think about how many times your mind could be lying to you? What if I told you that your perception of reality is shaped by experiences, emotions, and even social standards that you don't even realize? In this video, we'll explore how self-deception manifests itself in our lives, relationships, and the decisions we make. Get ready to unravel the illusions that your mind creates and discover how to live more authentically and fully. The human brain is a complex machine, capable of processing millions of information per second. When light enters the eyes, for example, it goes through a series of steps that transform it into images that we perceive. But this process is not simple. It involves a subjective interpretation, where reality is shaped by our previous experience, social context, and even culture. In essence, the brain does not receive reality as it is, but rather creates a version of it, an illusion of reality. Often, what we consider to be the truth may just be a projection of our thoughts and emotions. An example of this is the way we remember events. Memories can be influenced by later emotional experiences, causing us to alter, without realizing it, details that we previously believed to be accurate. Thus, the illusion of reality becomes a powerful but, at the same time, treacherous tool. In moments of stress or strong emotional pressure, the distortion of reality can intensify, leading us to believe things that really aren't true. This construction of perception is fundamental to understanding how our mind can deceive us. The first step towards mental freedom, therefore, is to recognize that our view of the world is, in many ways, an internal construct, often inaccurate and subject to external influence. Self-deception is an intriguing part of the human experience, manifesting itself in a variety of ways in everyday life. A clear example can be found in the issue of consumption. Many people justify their impulsive purchases with the belief that they deserve that item, even if their finances are already compromised. This reasoning can lead to a vicious cycle of debt and regret, but the mind tends to make justifications that make us feel better. Procrastination is another curious example. We often put off tasks with the belief that we have time, but in reality, we are just feeding a lie that allows us to escape reality. Denial of reality often appears in relationships. Individuals who ignore toxic behaviors within their relationships may claim that they are happy, omitting the suffering they really feel. In this scenario, self-deception reveals itself as a form of emotional protection. By believing in a distorted version of reality, we manage to avoid facing painful truths. However, this type of self-deception can trap us in cycles of unhappiness and regret, becoming a subtle but powerful trap that the mind sets against ourselves. Recognizing these examples in our daily lives is essential to begin dismantling the beliefs that limit us. Emotions play a crucial role in the way we perceive reality and are often catalysts for the distortion of truth. When we are in a heightened emotional state, be it joy, sadness, anger, or fear, our ability to judge can be compromised. For example, anger can lead us to interpret the actions and words of others as hostile, even when they are not intended to be so. This distortion affects not only how we see others, but also how we see ourselves. Someone who is feeling inadequate may focus on their flaws and forget about their abilities and achievements. Likewise, moments of euphoria can cause us to overestimate our capabilities, an effect that often leads to hasty decisions. Given this, understanding the impact of emotions on perception can help restore a critical balance in our lives. Understanding that our emotions can deceive us is an important key to better emotional control. This does not mean that we should avoid feeling, but rather learn to distinguish between emotion and perception, allowing us a clearer and more balanced view of our reality and ourselves. Recognizing our internal lies is a process that requires courage and willingness. For many, this task can be daunting, as it involves confronting truths that may be unpleasant or painful. A good first step is self-reflection, taking a moment from everyday life to think about beliefs and personal narratives. Asking yourself, why do I really believe this? Or is this the truth or just a feat of my mind? Can be revealing. Furthermore, it is essential to be open to external feedback. Close friends and family can offer perspectives that help us see areas where we are being dishonest with ourselves. The practice of mindfulness is also an effective tool. Through it, we can observe our thoughts and emotions without judging them, identifying patterns of deception that emerge during moments of stress or anxiety. As we move forward in this process, we begin to strip away the layers of defense we have built over the years and thus become more authentic. Recognizing the truth about ourselves can be a challenging path, but it is, without a doubt, one of the most liberating steps in the search for self-knowledge and building a fuller and truer life. Childhood is a crucial phase in the formation of our beliefs and the way we perceive the world. During the first years of life, the experiences we have shape our perceptions and internal narratives. When a child is repeatedly told that they are incapable or not good enough, these messages can be internalized and turn into limiting beliefs that last into adulthood. Often, these beliefs are not conscious, but act as lenses with which we interpret the reality around us. Additionally, the family environment, relationships with caregivers, and social dynamics between peers play a critical role. Children who grow up in homes where praise is scarce and criticism is abundant may develop a distorted view of their personal worth. These experiences shape the way we deal with failure and success, affecting, for example, our self-confidence. Over time, these unexamined beliefs become the basis of self-deception, as we use defense mechanisms to protect our self-image from the pain these realities can cause. Therefore, understanding how our childhood shaped these beliefs is fundamental to recognizing and dismantling the lies that our minds may have created to protect us from painful experiences. The search for external validation is a deeply rooted aspect of the human psyche. Since childhood, the validations we receive from parents, teachers, and friends influence our self-esteem and the way we perceive ourselves. When someone compliments our achievements or appearance, we feel a rush of happiness. This feeling can quickly become an addiction, leading us to constantly seek approval from others. For many women over 50, this can be especially relevant. They may feel pressured to maintain standards of beauty or social performance that they disapprove of, resulting in a cycle of self-criticism and insecurity. The need for external validation can act as a double whammy. On the one hand, it can motivate us to improve and achieve new goals, but on the other, it can keep us trapped in unrealistic standards of comparison. This distorted perspective can lead to self-deception in which happiness is achieved only through the acceptance of others. Ultimately, the search for external validation takes us away from our true selves, making us believe that we need the approval of others to be worthy. Learning to value yourself regardless of other people's opinions is a vital step towards freeing yourself from these emotional shackles. Psychological theories about personal lies reveal that we are all, to some extent, storytellers. Cognitive psychology suggests that we create narratives that fit our emotional desires and needs. This is especially true when we face discomfort or challenges. Cognitive dissonance theory, for example, explains how we tend to justify behaviors or beliefs that don't align with our ideal selves. If someone feels like they are not living their life according to their aspirations, they can create stories to feel better about themselves. Furthermore, psychoanalysis proposes that the unconscious plays a significant role in the way we lie to ourselves. Often, personal lies emerge as defense mechanisms to avoid pain. The mind, in its need for protection, distorts reality to smooth out life's difficulties. The problem arises when these false narratives become believable to us, becoming a mask we wear to hide the truth. Understanding these theories helps us analyze and question our own internal narratives, allowing us to make peace with reality and integrate our true experiences without the burden of self-delusion. Our identities are strongly shaped by cultural and social contexts, which often influence how we perceive and accept the truth about ourselves. In some cultures, an emphasis on collective norms can discourage individual expression, leading people to lie about their true emotions and thoughts to fit social expectations. In Brazil, culture often celebrates strength and resilience, which can cause those who don't feel this way to hide their weaknesses and vulnerabilities. This need to conform can promote a cycle of self-deception, as people learn to hide their internal struggles, claiming to always be fine. Furthermore, social media exacerbates this dynamic. With the urgency of presenting a perfect image, many feel they need to create an idealized version of themselves, which fuels self-deception. For women over 50, who may be dealing with significant life transitions like retirement or family changes, this pressure to maintain an image can be particularly intense. Recognizing that we are influenced by cultural factors allows us to question these norms and seek a truth that is more authentic and aligned with our essence. Relationships are an essential part of the human experience, and self-deception can have a profound impact on them. When we deceive ourselves, we tend to ignore behaviors that we consider unacceptable in other people, such as disrespect or lack of support. For example, a woman may be in a relationship with someone who devalues her, but persists in the idea that her partner loves her, simply because she wants to believe that. This denial not only harms your self-image, but it also creates a vicious cycle that perpetuates emotional suffering. Self-delusion can lead to mistaken beliefs about a relationship. When we tell ourselves that everything will get better or he didn't mean that, we are constructing a reality that can keep us trapped in a toxic situation. This can result in devastating consequences, such as loss of self-esteem and, often, even distancing ourselves from friends and family who could help us. Admitting the truth about a relationship takes courage, but it is a fundamental step in freeing yourself from dissolving relationships. This process is not easy and can be fraught with pain, but it is essential to maintain emotional health and promote well-being. Self-deception also plays a crucial role in the decisions we make throughout life. We often justify our choices based on illusions we create, whether out of fear of change, insecurity, or simply wanting to avoid the pain of the truth. For example, by deciding to stay in an unfulfilling job, we may tell ourselves that we have financial security, ignoring the fact that constant unhappiness affects our mental and emotional health. The ideal of security can be a factor that prevents many women from following their dreams, leading to a cycle of regrets. Another aspect to consider is financial decision-making. When dealing with our expenses, we often fool ourselves into believing that they can be controlled in the future, justifying unnecessary purchases with phrases like, "I deserve this," or "It's an investment." This illusion of control can result in long-term financial problems, causing stress and fear. The key to avoiding these pitfalls is awareness. Whenever we make a decision, we should ask ourselves, is this reasoning really true, or am I just fooling myself? By doing this, we can pave the way for healthier choices that are aligned with our true essence. Self-deception not only prevents healthy relationships and wise decisions, but it can also manifest itself in harmful behaviors that take us away from our goals and desires in life. Many women, throughout their lives, face the dilemma of maintaining unhealthy habits and convincing themselves otherwise. For example, when dealing with your health, it can be easier to ignore warning signs and convince yourself that somehow it won't affect your life in the long run. The belief that fitness is not a problem or that it will change later can create a cycle of procrastination and demotivation. In a society that exalts the external image, this denial can expand to the way we see our bodies and our health. Self-delusion can cause women to avoid responsibility for self-care, leading them to see themselves in a state of stagnation or even illness. Facing this truth can be difficult, but it is an important step towards finally taking control of our health and well-being. Accepting our reality leads us to take the necessary actions to promote change and pursue the life we truly desire. There are many inspiring stories of women who, by facing their truths, managed to transform their lives. Let's learn about Maria's trajectory, for example, who lived in an abusive relationship for years. Maria always believed that her partner loved her and that his actions were just part of the way he was. However, an event that made her look at herself like an episode of public disrespect woke her up to reality. When confronted with what she had experienced, Maria began to seek support from friends and help groups. This support network was essential for her to find the courage to end the relationship and start a new chapter of her life, centered on her happiness. Another story is that of Anna, who always postponed her dreams of traveling the world for fear of the unknown and what others might think of her. By allowing herself to experience traveling alone, Anna discovered not only a new world, but also a new vision of herself. In dealing with these challenges, Maria and Anna learned to let go of the lies that the mind constructed and allowed themselves to live the life they always wanted. These stories remind us that it is possible to face painful truths and, instead of letting ourselves get discouraged, we can emerge stronger and more connected to what really matters. Facing the truth can be one of life's most difficult challenges. For many women, This may involve reevaluating their beliefs and experiences that have been shaped over the years. An effective technique for dealing with the truth is the practice of reflective writing. By writing about situations that bother us, we can gain clarity and better understand our emotions. Think about choosing a time during the day to sit down and write down the thoughts that arise. Ask yourself, what makes me feel this way? Or what evidence supports this thought? Another technique is positive self-talk. When faced with internal criticism, responding to it with constructive statements can change the narrative. Additionally, the practice of conscious breathing helps calm the mind and emotional centering. By directing attention to breathing, we are able to gain emotional space to reflect before reacting. Finally, consider sharing your experiences with someone you trust. Talking about your truths can not only ease the emotional burden, but also offer new perspectives on the reality you are facing. Developing self-confidence to face the realities of life is an essential step on the journey of self-discovery. Many women who are going through significant changes or who are looking for new personal and professional paths may feel insecure. A powerful method for cultivating this self-confidence is to set small, achievable goals. Every achievement, no matter how small, contributes to building positive self-esteem. Additionally, engaging in activities that make you feel good and fulfilled, such as volunteering, can reinforce your perception of value and ability. Social contact is also crucial. Try to build a circle of support made up of people who encourage and inspire you. Thus, it is possible to create a safe network where fears and insecurities can be shared. Remember that self-confidence is not a permanent state, but rather a daily exercise in self-affirmation and acceptance. So practice kindness to yourself and recognize that each day is a new opportunity to learn. Therapy and self-care play fundamental roles in demystifying personal truths. Therapy offers a safe space to explore feelings and thoughts, helping to identify patterns of self-deception. A qualified professional can guide individuals to seek the truth in their personal stories, challenging beliefs that may no longer serve them. Additionally, choosing self-care practices such as meditation, regular exercise, and creative activities can provide mental and emotional relief. When we take care of our well-being, we are able to face life's challenges with more clarity and resilience. Many women feel overwhelmed with daily responsibilities, and this is when self-care becomes not just important, but essential. Introducing small daily rituals, such as a relaxing bath or pleasurable reading, can help restore energy and inner peace, creating an environment conducive to self-knowledge. Self-knowledge, combined with therapeutic support, can open doors to the truth, providing a new perspective on your experiences and emotions. Cultivating a critical mindset is one of the most effective tools we can develop in our lives. This involves questioning and challenging the information we receive, both externally and internally. Practicing a critical mindset allows us to distinguish between what is fact and what is belief. One way to start is to reflect on the social messages and patterns that influence our perceptions. Ask yourself, is this idea really mine, or was it imposed by someone else? And what evidence supports or challenges this belief? Having a critical eye does not mean becoming cynical, but rather opening space for new ideas and perspectives. Additionally, it can be helpful to engage in constructive discussions with others. Talking about different points of view can broaden your understanding of what you consider to be true. Seek information from reliable and varied sources. This will help create a solid foundation for your critical thinking. This process, although it can be challenging, is fundamental to freeing yourself from the lies that the mind often creates. Self-analysis is a powerful tool for understanding our own inabilities and self-imposed limitations. From the moment we begin to honestly reflect on our beliefs and behaviors, we learn to identify patterns that often keep us trapped in the illusory comfort zone. For example, many will notice that we often sabotage ourselves with limiting beliefs, such as, "I'm not good enough," or "I'll never make it." These statements are not just errors in thinking, but rather narratives that we construct throughout our lives, shaped by past experiences, criticism from others, and even our own insecurities. When we allow ourselves to observe these narratives and reflect on how they affect our lives, we begin to realize where we are failing to support ourselves. The most valuable learning that self-analysis can offer us is the ability to demystify these beliefs and realize that many of them have no real foundation. This process can be profoundly liberating, as it enables us to subvert the narrative that our mind has created. From there, we were able to cultivate a space for personal growth, where we began to accept that change is possible and that we deserve to live a full and authentic life. So, every time we look in the mirror, we begin to see not only the reflection of who we are, but also the image of who we can become when we choose truth over lies. The future of cognitive research is bright and promising, presenting many opportunities to expand our understanding of the human mind. With the advancement of neuroimaging technologies, for example, we are increasingly closer to deciphering how our emotions, beliefs, and perceptions interrelate. These discoveries not only contribute to fields such as psychology and psychiatry, but also have profound implications for education, work, and social well-being. Such research could facilitate the development of more efficient therapeutic strategies, helping people to overcome limiting beliefs and adjust their perceptions. The knowledge gained can be used to build programs that teach the importance of emotional intelligence and mindfulness, encouraging a healthier culture of emotional and mental management. In other words, the future of cognitive research does not just present itself as an academic field to be explored, but rather as a vital tool that can reconfigure ways of dealing with adversity and life in society. Keeping an open mind to new ideas is one of the biggest challenges in a world where we are constantly bombarded by information. We tend to cling to our beliefs and perceptions, which, although comfortable, can limit our personal growth. To cultivate an open mind, you need to practice active listening and be willing to explore different perspectives. An effective strategy is the practice of curiosity. Instead of simply rejecting an idea that goes against our convictions, we can ask questions, investigate, and seek to understand the other person's point of view. Additionally, participating in discussions with people from different backgrounds and experiences helps us expand our horizons and challenge our assumptions. Another powerful way to stay open is the habit of diverse reading, which allows us to delve into different worlds and ideas. This receptivity not only enriches our knowledge, but also makes us more empathetic and understanding, essential characteristics in our personal and professional interactions. Ultimately, an open mind is an invitation to continuous transformation and lifelong learning. We conclude that the imperfection of the mind is an undeniable human characteristic. I lived for many years believing that the truth was absolute, until I realized that what we consider truth is often a construction based on our experiences and interpretations. Accepting this imperfection is liberating and allows us a path to self-compassion. By understanding that all of us, to a greater or lesser extent, are susceptible to misperceptions and distorted beliefs, we can cultivate a kinder attitude towards ourselves and others. This acceptance encourages us to take a more flexible approach to our opinions and to venture into continuous learning. Furthermore, embracing imperfection encourages us to seek growth instead of stagnation, allowing us to live richer and more authentic experiences. Ultimately, living with the awareness that the mind is not always a reliable ally, but that we can work to transform it, leads us to a state of inner peace and significant personal growth. The human mind is full of illusions and distortions, and recognizing these internal lies is the first step to true freedom and self-knowledge. Only by confronting our limiting beliefs can we unlock our potential and live authentically. What story would you like to hear next? Share your ideas in the comments and help shape our next content. Have you ever caught yourself believing in something that, upon reflection, you realized was an illusion created by your mind? How do you deal with these distortions in your life? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next video. Come explore more about the mind and self-knowledge with us.